Talking Cars. I'm Jennifer Stockberger, and this marks the final episode of 2025. And it gives us a chance to kind of reflect back on all the cars we've tested this year and to give more members of the team who aren't normally on the show a chance to share what they liked and which cars they didn't like, and for you to meet more of the team that makes all of this happen. Let's get started. Michael Monticello. Andy brought notes, so this ought to be good. So let's start with your least favorite.
My least favorite.
You up? Least favorite car?
No. See, look at all this.
I got
so
scientific.
You've
Circled. He really did.
I got scientific, and I went down.
It's got red circles on it.
I picked out all the cars that I thought were my least favorite, and all the cars that I thought were my most favorite, and then I went through and added up all their one-day trip scores. And then divided by the thing, and so I kind of figured out, and they mostly kind of ended up with where I thought I might be, but...
So you're a bit data-driven.
Oh, I'm a numbers guy, and you know I don't like to put a number on numbers, right? So this year I actually got scientific. So you want to start with least favorite?
Yeah, let's start with your least favorite.
Least favorite, and honestly, I would say it's most disappointing, if it's okay to kind of switch it up a little bit.
That's what mine is, too.
That's the Toyota 4Runner.
Yeah.
When you think about that, the old version, which had been around for a long time,
iconic,
was crazy outdated.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they come out with an all new version, and it ends up with the exact same road test score as before.
Yeah.
Right. Which is
highly anticipated.
And it just drives very trucky.
Yeah.
You know, that turbo 4-cylinder in the model we have, the SR5, is just it's loud. Yeah. There's vibrations coming through the steering wheel anytime you're accelerating. The transmission is pretty bumpy in terms of the shifts. The ride is bouncy. It's very loud inside, partially because of the engine, but also because of wind noise. It's just, and of course the handling is sloppy. We kind of I can give it a pass on that.
Right.
And I get that it needs to be off-roady, right?
Yep.
Even though I think it's fair to say most 4Runner buyers aren't going to take it truly off-road.
Yep.
When you spend this kind of money, you don't want to get it scratched up. But my best example is someone came by to do something at the house, and I had the 4Runner there, and he goes, "Oh, the new 4Runner, huh?" He goes, "What do you think of it?" And he goes, "My wife saw it, and she really thinks it looks cool." And I said, "Well, honestly, it drives pretty trucky."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, she'll stick with a Highlander then."
Yeah.
And that's honestly the best choice probably for most people. So it's just disappointing. I expected so much more out of it, and the power is really good, but the way it delivers it is not good. And so many other things are just kind of crude about it for an all new version.
Right. We're spoiled.
Yeah.
We're spoiled by things like the Highlander. And your favorite?
My favorite, again, going by the numbers.
Okay.
It was very close between the Hyundai Ioniq 9 and the BMW X3, but the numbers right here. I mean, look at these. Jen.
Hey, you can't argue with that.
You can't argue with data.
There's real hard numbers. Right? He could have written them down, but there is some real hard numbers on the paper.
I don't know this took me hours last night. I'm kidding. It didn't take me hours. So it's the BMW X3.
Yeah.
And I mean, the numbers, again, not just my numbers, our numbers back up, has the highest road test score.
You're not alone with those numbers.
Highest road test score of any small luxury SUV. Road test score, not necessarily overall score, but road test score, which is basically how the vehicle drives and what it's like to live with. Okay, so 2 caveats I'll get out of the way right now.
Yep.
I hate the controls. We all pretty much don't like the controls. And
I wouldn't say the X3 is alone in that.
No.
We have many cars. Yeah.
Too few physical controls, right? So it just makes it more difficult to deal with. And the steering is a little bit light for my taste and tells you very, very little. And that's something that BMWs have been dealing with for a little while now with this electric power steering. But so many other things. When I look at my numbers here, driving position got a very high score. Front seats, super high score.
Yeah.
I love those front seats. They're not only super comfortable, but super well bolstered, hold you in place. Powertrain, really high score. It's a turbo 4-cylinder. It doesn't make a lot of power, but it does really good things with that power.
Right.
And it's very energetic, has lots of, oomph for passing zones. Transmission, for the most part, shifts very smoothly.
Yep.
Handling, in spite of that, steering is very competent.
Right.
And the ride is decent. It's not amazing, but it's not like cushy, but it's more than good enough for most people.
Yeah. I like a little tautness
Yeah.
underneath.
And it's very quiet. So
Okay.
it really ticks all the boxes for, I think, a luxury SUV.
Yeah.
And like I said, the numbers don't lie. It's has the highest road test score. So,
Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
How was your year, by the way?
It was a really good year.
Yeah.
Really good year.
All right. Well, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
Thanks.
You're no stranger to Alex Nizick, so it's been a busy year for you, really busy year for you. Some new people on your team, but what stood out for you in our fleet over the past year?
Quite a few. I feel like there were a lot of good cars, but the one I chose was the Toyota Crown Signia.
Ah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a wagon, which it's probably
Bring
the only
back
one.
the
Yeah,
wagon.
it's the only
I'm
one
on
in our
that
fleet.
team.
They call it an SUV, but
Right.
come on, look at it.
We compared it to the Venza.
Yeah,
Kind of,
yeah. It
yeah.
kind of replaced it in the lineup too. And
Yep.
Yeah, like its powertrain's maybe not its best attribute
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the noise and all that stuff, but I think it looks cool. If you get it in red, go look at
Yes.
it next to the Ferrari Purosangue.
Oh
This like
my
SUV.
gosh, I'm gonna
You're
have to
like
Google this
It kind of
now.
looks very similar. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one of my favorite ones. It just drove well, looks cool, and
Yeah.
unique.
It's so dependable.
Yeah, that
it's
too.
gonna be
right.
so
it's gonna
dependable.
good fuel economy, all that.
And which one did you opt out of? I don't want to
Yeah.
take those keys.
Q6, Audi Q6 e-tron. And, I was almost hesitant to say it because it's actually not a bad car,
Right.
but really it was disappointing because it's, and I'm going to get told I'm an EV hater, which is not true, but this one in particular because, it's got all the latest and greatest EV technology on it, right? The 800 volt and the silicon carbide, this and that. But just the final package together just felt a little underwhelming. Didn't do that great in our range testing.
Yep.
And the ride was not great too. And just, I don't know, all of it together,
Yeah.
even though the hype was kind of high for me, it under-delivered, I guess. So again, not a terrible car, just didn't meet expectations.
We've heard other people say it wasn't that it was a bad car.
Yeah.
It just failed to meet
Yeah.
the hype, the expectation,
Right.
the promotion around it.
Yeah.
And that was that one for you.
And especially because you have something I'm looking forward to is the BMW iX3, the Neue class they call it, right?
Yeah.
So like BMW is trying to take their EVs to
Yes.
the next level,
Yep.
and Audi could have done that, but it doesn't feel like it quite hit the mark.
No, perfect.
So
Thanks.
there it is. Thank you.
We welcome John Ibbotson to the table. John is our manager of auto testing. And if that doesn't tell you that he's organizing the testing schedule, he's also responsible with his team for keeping all of the test cars going all of the time. So he does a lot of dealer swaps. But John, what was your favorite car of the fleet for 2025?
Well, I'm a truck guy, so with what we had here, the Dodge Ram would be kind of going to be my favorite.
Yep, and it does. We talk about the Rams ride and the Rams power delivery. It just does all of those things so well.
It's always been one of my favorites all along. It's one of the nicest half-ton trucks to drive.
Yep.
Obviously, there's some issues with reliability, which may not make it a best one to pick for yourself
Yep.
overall.
Yep.
But it is a nice vehicle to drive.
Yeah, and your least favorite?
My least favorite was the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
I can't get used to the steering wheel. I can't get used to parking the vehicle. I'm irritated before I leave the parking lot.
Yeah, the steering ratios just
Yes.
make slow speed very different and awkward. And yeah, I agree with you. I don't think I'm a fan. And again, I go back to, you would think that would leave here a lot because of its stature, and it didn't leave a lot because I think you're not alone in that. So,
Right.
well, thanks, John.
Yes, no problem.
So we welcome Avri Wishograd to the table. And
you.
I'm very interested because Avri spends so much time. You spend so much time behind the wheel in a testing capacity.
Right.
I'm very interested to hear what you have from a just pure, this car I like, it pleases me capacity. So
Yeah.
what sticks out for you?
So I really enjoyed the 228 Grand Coupe. This car, we tested this car right after a string of big SUVs.
Right.
And it was so refreshing to just get into a small, nimble car that's fun to drive, has really comfortable front seats,
Yeah.
a good powertrain, good handling, and it was such a breath of fresh air
Yeah.
after all the big cars.
You're a second person who's referenced like BMW seats as
Oh,
being
yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah.
And do you find you don't mind being lower? I think that to me, a lot of people get into a sedan.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Of course, it depends on the car.
Yep.
Some cars
Yep.
you can sit low and see just fine.
Yep.
Some you sit low and you can't see anything.
Yeah. I think it has a lot to do with the surrounding. Do you feel like you're in a cave?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and again, the 228 is pretty small, so
Yep.
you can see out of it okay.
You love the nimble.
Yes, very nimble, fun to drive.
Yeah, fun to drive. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And least favorite?
I'm gonna go EX90
Yep.
by Volvo. Not because it's not a nice driving vehicle, but because such basic things
Yeah.
are such a pain.
Yeah.
For example, in this car, you need to place the key card
Yeah.
on the wireless charger in order to turn it on. And you can't operate anything in the car, like the power windows, without turning it on first.
Yeah.
Now, as soon as you open the door, it turns off.
Yeah.
So if you're in the car and you want to get out and do something and get back in, well, the car's now off.
Yep.
And now you have to take the key card and put it back on. And it's such a basic car thing, right?
Yeah.
Is to get in, turn it on, and have it maybe stay on.
Right.
And yeah, it's just
Doesn't.
annoying.
Do you think we often get, one of the criticisms of us sometimes is, if you owned it, you'd get used to it. You guys just don't drive them enough.
So yes.
Mm-hmm.
However, with this car, at least as of now,
Yep.
as of us testing it, even if you pair your phone as a key,
Yep.
you still have to put your phone on the charger, which
Yeah.
you might do anyway. So that might make it a little bit easier. But pretty much every other car has proximity.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to necessarily take the key or your phone out of your pocket.
Yep.
But not this one.
Yeah.
And unlike the EX30, which we got with a key fob that
Mm-hmm.
gives you proximity locking and unlocking, this one doesn't come with that.
Yeah.
I believe it might be an option
Yep.
from the dealer, but
So
as
clearly
it stands,
Volvo knows how to do it. It just didn't happen
They've
here.
got the technology, but
Yeah.
for some reason they chose not to.
Yeah. So you might not get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Otherwise, it's a great car.
I know.
It drives
and
really
we've
nicely.
heard so much of drives great,
But
too many quirks.
Yeah,
Too
yeah.
many quirks. Thanks, Aubrey.
yeah, no problem.
A familiar face, a familiar voice, Michael Crossan. I'm going with formal names today.
Okay,
Michael
perfect.
Crossan. From our fleet, which car stood out for you in good or bad? We'll start either way in 2025.
Let's start bad.
Okay.
I did not like the ID Buzz. The public likes it. When you drive it, it has the best reaction of all time.
Yep.
It's almost a pleasure to drive in that aspect.
Yep.
Versus some other vehicles where we get maybe a different finger pointed at you. But I don't think the Buzz itself is good value.
Yeah.
It's really expensive. The range isn't very good. It's hard to get in and out of. It's got some oddities about it. And I don't see them on the road. I've seen one or two.
Yeah.
So, I think people are seeing that. They drive them. They're kind of neat, but when the reality sets in that this might be something I spend $70,000+ on,
Right.
people have second thoughts, and they're just not selling, I don't think.
Do you think if range was greater or it was a slightly different, maybe a hybrid powertrain, yes, no, or there's enough that warrants,
Yeah, I think-
maybe not?
If range was greater at that price,
Yeah.
that'd be better value.
Yep.
I do think it was a hybrid. That would be very interesting.
Yeah.
Because it would open it up to more people, a little more usability.
Yep.
That kind of vehicle, you might take it like camping and things. So having a big battery on board,
Yeah.
you could potentially like sleep with the AC on or sleep
Yeah.
with the heat on and that kind of stuff. So I think that's interesting. A hybrid might have been the choice.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get that real low floor so much because you have to
Yep.
put a whole powertrain in there.
Right.
So I get why they did it, but I just don't think it's good value.
Yeah. And your favorite?
This is in test right now, so I don't know
Oh.
if it's on the official list
Oh,
that Dave
you.
sent out, but I'm going to
Yep.
say it anyway. Lucid Gravity.
Yeah.
It's fine as a vehicle as far as all the real actual things. The software is still a bit of a mess, and there's things that happen that shouldn't happen. But it's like an 800 and, I don't know, something horsepower minivan.
Yeah.
I did acceleration testing on it yesterday, and oh boy, is it fast. So that's just amazing that you can buy a minivan that does what this thing does.
Yeah. We talk about, I always appreciate, I don't need the numbers. I don't need to know it's 0 to 60 and whatever you maybe.
It's uncomfortably fast.
Uncomfortably fast. But boy, do I love instant power in highway driving. To merge, to pass. Like, I just love
the passing
power.
speed and power and the numbers that I saw between this speed and that
Shocking.
speed versus time,
Yep.
real fast.
Okay.
Shockingly, uncomfortably fast.
Okay. Well, don't drive it shockingly and uncomfortably.
No, just on the track.
Just
but,
on the
yeah.
track. So.
And it's also kind of like the Ford Flex, which you can't get anymore, and I know you love.
Oh, I do heart the Ford
And I love the Flex as well.
Well, there's some cars out there. You know, we talked about that. The Palisades, the Santa Fe's. They're a
getting
little bit
close.
square. They're getting
Yeah.
close.
But the Flex, again, was kind of like this minivan, but with traditional doors.
Yeah.
And I
And
think
it
the
drove
Gravity, I
beautifully.
mean, I'm sure the people at Lucid don't want the Gravity compared to a Flex or a minivan, but that's what it is.
But that's what it is. Thanks.
Thank you.
We welcome Steph Schrader to the table, new to our content team. So she's at a bit of a disadvantage because she didn't get to drive all the cars of 2025, but a true auto enthusiast. So I'm very interested in what stood out to you as your favorites and least favorites.
So my favorite kind of comes with some caveats, just because
Most do.
I haven't driven everything.
Yep.
I did like the Land Cruiser a lot. The
Yeah.
Toyota Land Cruiser, it just looks cool. It has a bunch of buttons on the inside.
Yeah,
I've driven
real
so
buttons.
driven so many cars with like touch screens, and I go over to like change a basic setting, and I'm veering off the road.
Yeah.
And it's just dangerous. Bring back buttons. I mean the drivetrain's a little rough. It's kind of like constant start stop
Yeah.
with the hybrid system, and just any time that the gas engine has to kick in,
Right.
it just
You
kind
know
of
it.
brrr.
Yep.
And it annoyingly prompts you to resubscribe to the connected services if you've let the free trial expire every time you get in. But other than that, I was just like,
Yeah.
this is great. It just
It
kind
is.
of, it's a big body on frame truck. I want to play with it in the mud.
Yeah. Even at its price, I always say, would you take your $70,000 Land Cruiser through the mud?
70. Why would you buy a Land Cruiser if you don't
Well,
want to take
there
it
you
in the
go.
mud?
You would. You absolutely would
mean,
then. Yep.
It's cute, but it would be cuter with some stripes, some little pinstripes.
You're going to add?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Via shrubs. Yeah. Mhm. Yep. I can help with this.
Perfect. She'll do it. She'll do it for us. And least favorite.
The Volvo EX90 is probably getting brought up a lot in this conversation.
Yeah.
But I just kind of, if the Torment Nexus was a car, that is it.
Yeah.
It just binged and bonged and just ugh. Every little thing. Even when I like got back in it to like, okay, I'm tweaking some settings, sitting here drinking my coffee, it would like ding every time a car went by.
Yes. A little too sensitive?
It's just like, it's just everything. And I couldn't tell if it was broken and like, because so many things on that were just delivered. It was delivered unfinished.
Yes.
I couldn't tell if it was broken and like lane keep assist wouldn't turn off.
Yeah.
Because we have some like fun little twisty roads near the office.
So you
and
naturally cross that line,
Yeah.
right? Yep.
there's just, would you like to hit a trash can or would you like to cross the little line for a second?
Yep.
And, generally I don't like hitting trash cans. So I couldn't tell if it was torque steer where it'll pull to one side because, there's just too much going to one wheel or the other, or if it was
Lane
keep
keeping.
assist.
Yeah.
And, it's so frustrating. It wasn't even good to drive. Some of the cars that have like annoying warnings or this or that. And the infotainment screen had tiny text for me. My eyes are kind of garbage.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they let me drive cars, but they do.
They still let her do it?
They
Yeah.
still let me.
I always am surprised. Big screen, little icons. Like, you had a
Tiny.
lot of real estate there. Why didn't you give it to me?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just, and I mean, that's one more thing where it's just, this is unsafe.
Yeah.
It's hard to see at a glance. Give me a button with a clear icon,
Yep.
clear text if you have to put text to label things.
Yep.
It was like the anti-Land Cruiser.
You and I haven't had this conversation, but I
Yeah.
say there's a big difference between driving the car and operating the car. And so many times we're like, it's so great to drive, but I can't do anything very easily. And
Yeah.
to your point, I think a lot of things were broken in the EX90.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, Steph. We welcome Alex George, who leads our autos content team. So he sees all the words that go with every car. So let's start now, your first full year with CR. Least favorite car of 2025.
Mine would be, for comparison, the Honda Prologue was a disappointment for me.
yeah.
Perfectly fine car.
Yeah.
A lot going for it. But as somebody who is newly aware of the benefits of what Honda does to a lot of their interiors and to their UI, all those kinds of things, a lot of that people should know is absent from the Prologue.
Yeah.
Prologue is based on a General Motors, basically underneath its skin. So as an EV, if you are a fan of Honda and you're looking for an EV, which I expect people would be if they're looking at this car, it was a little bit disappointing.
Wasn't Honda-ified enough for you?
Not quite.
Yeah,
that was my
not
problem.
quite. Yep.
And so Acura is also owned by
Right.
same brand as Honda. Their EVs are very nice
Yes.
and very Acura-ified.
Yep.
But the Prologue just wasn't quite that.
Yep.
And for a $50,000 electric car, I think there are cooler options out there. There's a lot more with high reliability scores as well that you would choose.
Great. And your favorite?
Civic Hybrid.
Ah.
I'm choosing, again, Honda for this one. Again, as I edit every road test, every first drive, watch the videos beforehand, I was understanding that among hybrids, which as a category has become fantastic,
Right.
they drive better than the regular gas version, they get more gas mileage, they are as reliable or sometimes more reliable. But among that category, Toyota created it more or less.
Right.
I was thinking about saying the Crown Signia. I like that one a lot. But the Civic Hybrid, in terms of how smooth it is when you pull
Right.
away, how
Yep.
fast you can merge with traffic, and the utility of its kind of hatchback design as a sedan, it's a fantastic way to, for $30,000, it's such a great car.
For $30,000. And I think you're touching on people don't realize they think of hybrid and they think pure fuel economy.
Right.
But you already said it. It typically, certainly in our scoring, makes it a better car.
Always,
It's
yeah.
quieter. It's leaves the line a little smoother. Great choices.
Yeah, for sure. And again, I say this in contrast to the Prologue because
Right.
the Honda, the knobs feel good. You don't have, it's amongst our assessments of how easy they are to use.
Yep.
Honda's sets the standard for knobs, buttons.
Yep.
You don't have to look off the road when you want to change the temperature. All that they do extremely well.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right, we welcome James McQueen. He works in our comms department, sets us up with all our interviews. But James, I'm just going to preclude this with the reputation that you have of notoriously buying for yourself and your wife and your family cars that CR doesn't always recommend.
Yes. yes. Nobody's perfect. And one of my character flaws is not always taking Consumer Reports as trusted advice.
So what is your most preferred car for 2025?
Well, I would say the car that I enjoyed the most being in this year was honestly the Ram 1500.
Ah.
I know it's a big pickup truck, but there's honestly, I felt a lot to like about this car. So we, of course, got, the first model that didn't have the Hemi V8, the vaunted Hemi V8.
Yeah.
They went down to, the twin turbo inline 6, which I was a little skeptical. I'm a big displacement guy. So anytime you start shrinking my motor, I get a little nervous.
Yep.
So I was a little skeptical. But honestly, I was so surprised. They turned me into a believer because that motor is so good. It performs so well.
Yep.
It is so quick. It is so powerful. It is so smooth and refined that it was just hard not to enjoy it.
And moving a big vehicle.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so the way that it got down the road was just a real delight to drive.
Yeah.
And then overall, you just have a pickup truck that has pretty darn good ride comfort.
Yeah.
It's for a full-size pickup, it's reasonably agile, and the controls are pretty decent, the seats are okay, and the handling is responsive. So it was just a delight, I felt, to just pilot around despite the fact that it's so big.
Yeah.
We put out an article a while ago, basically saying that pickup trucks are kind of like the new family haulers, and I bought into that. I'm like, this is actually pretty good for me to put the whole family in. And of course, you have all the utility stuff, which as a homeowner, you're always going to find some need for a pickup truck.
The cabs are huge.
Huge.
Your kids are certainly not kicking your seat back because they have plenty of room.
Yeah, absolutely. So totally enjoy being in that car. I'm going to be sad to see it leave our fleet.
Yeah, there you go. And your least favorite, James?
Oh, my least favorite. Well, this one is kind of interesting because it's a car that I actually liked, but that had a kind of fatal flaw for me that kind of took, and that's the Civic Hybrid Sport.
Okay.
And again, this is a good car. I mean, I love the car overall. I felt that it was a treat to drive, nice handling, outstanding powertrain. It had that, the two motor, hybrid C VT, really, really smooth, really, really good performing, and so fuel efficient. And so a lot of
Where's
good.
the butt?
The butt actually came to the headroom. I had zero headroom, and I mean zero.
Yeah.
Not like get a haircut and it'll be fine. No, I had zero headroom.
Yeah.
I get it in that car, and immediately my head is just touching, the roof of the car, which was a real letdown.
That
because,
is a fatal flaw.
Because
yeah.
the seat didn't have an adjustment. You couldn't move it up and down. So I'm literally driving in the car, like a turtle with his head halfway out of the shell. So that's not cool.
Well, I'm laughing, but that's not
And
good.
I'm not 6'7". I'm not,
Right. You're a big guy, but you're not 6'7", right?
So even though I like the car, the fact remains that if your head doesn't fit, it's probably not the car you should get.
Right, for sure, for sure. And it speaks to why we have such a range of testers, from people who are barely 5 foot to yourself or Ryan or Alex, who are taller. Love it, love it.
Yep.
So appreciate you. Thanks.
No problem.
We welcome Joseph Veslak to the table, and it's been a big year for Joe because he's a new dad.
Yes.
Super exciting. Congratulations. But
Thank
I'm
you.
interested if being a new dad changed what you liked and didn't like, or if you're true to yourself.
Oh, I'm true to myself. I still like cars that, they're not the easiest to live with. I'm still willing to make that sacrifice to drive something that's cool or that I enjoy to drive.
And what was that?
That'd be the 4Runner. I said it last year. It was that was the vehicle I anticipated the most. And I still find it to be cool.
Yep.
Fun to drive, even though it's not great out there on the road in terms of, sporty handling or anything, but that's expected. And it
Skews
I think
to
it
the
looks cool.
off-road.
Yeah.
I think this is a great opportunity, too, because when we're doing this, you can, one, talk about what looks cool.
Yes.
And two, even if it's not perfect, what you actually like, because I think you're right. If you were coming out of a 4Runner, you're probably going to be fine with the truckiness.
Yeah, I think most people who entertain this vehicle are interested in it, kind of know what they're getting into. Similar to the Bronco, the Wrangler.
Yep.
We get they're not going to perform that great in our, track tests and certain tests
And
that
it
we have.
didn't,
But I still find it to be cool. It still looks as cool as it does. After we had it for a while, usually that stuff wanes, but not with the 4Runner.
They've really kept, that's a 4Runner. You know immediately.
Yes.
You don't need to say, is that a new version?
Yeah.
You know immediately. And what about your least favorite?
Yeah, poor Fiat 500e. I mean, it's just the range is very, very small.
Yep.
It doesn't ride great. It just,
Yep.
I feel bad for the car. I want to like it, but, it's not.
We're hearing a lot of that. It's such a disappointment, but I think you're right. If you're going to opt for that little space,
Yeah.
it drives okay.
Yep.
But if it doesn't have the range
Yeah.
to warrant that compromise,
Right.
I think you might be onto
Yeah.
something.
You're like, you want to be efficient, easy. It's about just you could throw gas in it on the ICE
Right.
platform of that or ICE version, and then it makes it easy to live with. But then why complicate it with charging?
Yep. And range.
Yeah.
So much appreciated.
Yeah,
Big
thank
year for
you.
Joe. It'll be
Yeah,
a
yeah.
bigger year in 2026. Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you.
We welcome Oliver Smith, the newest member of our auto test team, to the table. So you are all at a disadvantage because you've been here about 3 months. You may not have experienced all of the cars, but many of them are still here. So in your tenure, what car stands out to you as being a favorite?
So I have driven a lot of them in a short period of time. So my assessment's not as good as many.
Yeah.
But my favorite was definitely based on my family and how we used it, the Rivian. I didn't think I was going to like it. But
R1S.
The R1S,
Yes,
yeah.
yep.
It has personality. It kind of grew on me.
Yep.
Kids loved it.
Yes.
It's a happy place to spend some time.
It is, and it brings the EV quiet. So I agree.
It definitely grew on me with time, yeah.
Great. And least favorite, Oliver?
My least favorite was the Kia K4. It's not a place I want to spend any more time.
Yep.
It just didn't do it for me. Nothing particularly obnoxious about it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to go in it again.
Do you think we've been spoiled by larger cars, SUVs, that now when we're in a smaller sedan, it skews our view?
Yeah, I think
I
you're
think it
right.
is.
I guess when I was thinking about what to pick, I was thinking, what do I look forward to drive next?
Yes.
And what don't I want to get in again? And I think you're right. It's just like not a nice place to be, as nice as a Rivian R1S, for example.
There you go. I think it certainly has its appeal, but like you
And-
say, how much time do you want to spend in
My
it?
kids didn't like it either, which makes it difficult for the dad
Yes.
up front. So-
My kids growing up, I've had many years here, would say, Ma, put that in the logbook.
Yeah.
Something that they didn't care for.
Well,
Put that in the
they haven't
logbook.
picked that one up yet, but
They
give them
will.
time.
They will. Thanks, Oliver.
Yeah, thank you.
We welcome John Williams back to the table, and we were just saying we had a pretty good fleet this year. It was hard to pick out those you loved and those you disliked the most.
Yeah, it really was.
It was. But for you, John, what stands out? Either way, good or bad?
Sure. Yeah, I'll start with the good.
Okay.
Always good to start with the good. Right?
Always good.
So for me this year, I'm someone who really enjoys driving. So I was kind of looking at that list and thinking of cars that were really engaging to drive that I really enjoyed my time in. And for me, that was definitely the Civic Hybrid.
Yeah.
I think the powertrain in that car is just really dialed in. It's really smooth off the line. The CVT does these simulated upshifts, so
Yeah.
it doesn't rev like crazy like a lot of the other CVTs out there. And it's just really enjoyable to drive.
Yeah, I think it's funny how they're making cars that don't actually shift feel like they shift and sound
Right.
like they shift, but that's the appeal for many.
Yeah, and the handling on it is really great too.
I'll admit I have not been in it yet, but after this episode, I'm going to make a point to get in it.
Yeah.
And a least favorite, John.
Least favorite? This one was tougher for me. I think there's kind of a lot of low-hanging fruit, like the Cybertruck, the Volvo EX30, things with kind of obnoxious controls. But I was trying to focus more on something more in the mainstream market, which for me, unfortunately, was a little bit disappointed by the Nissan Kicks.
Yeah.
I think kind of the way that Nissan has marketed the car, they're really going for a lot of features at a low price.
Right.
So you do get, a nice infotainment screen, you get a wireless charger. The interior looks kind of nice. It's got some neat styling elements on the outside. I'll give it that, but the actual driving experience for me was where it kind of fell apart.
A little underpowered.
Yeah, it's underpowered. It's noisy. The ride was honestly the biggest issue for me. You kind of feel every bump. And I drove it back from the dealer that we bought it from. It was about an hour away and got out of the car pretty tired.
You
and kinda
knew
beat up
right
feeling.
away.
Yeah.
You knew right away it wasn't
So-
going to be a good pick. And it's so cute. I so want it. Again,
I know
to
it's
love
too
it.
bad,
But yeah.
it's a tough class. It's up against the HRV, the Kona, Corolla Cross, all those. It's just a tough place to be.
Great. Well, thanks, John.
Yeah, absolutely.
We welcome Andrew Belize to the table. We are used to seeing him behind the camera, not in front of the camera.
Correct, yeah.
But welcome to the table.
Yeah.
And what did you love and not love of the cars we tested this year?
Okay, so again, I'm like indecisive about this, but
No, you have to
it's
be
definitely,
decisive.
It definitely is a hybrid. And I got into this car recently. It was the Toyota Crown Signia.
Yeah.
I got in that and I was like, this is it for me. This
Yeah.
is, I do this thought experiment a lot where it's like, if I didn't work here and I didn't have access to all these vehicles, what would I actually buy? What do I actually like?
Yep.
The Crown Signia is not as much SUV as wagon, I feel, like styling wise. So, and it's a little raised, so you kind of get the best of both. You have a little SUV nest to it, and then you also have like kind of the wagon look. I'm not crazy about the color that we bought, that champagne.
Rust, bronze,
yeah,
whatever.
it's a
we
little
call it.
old for my demo, but it's. I
You
guess
would
it's fine.
liven it up if you bought it.
I'll say that my wife's grandmother said this is a beautiful color, and I said I knew that was, and she's about to be 80, so I was like, not for me. But yeah, the hybrid range is great. I fit both my car seats back there for my kids.
Yep.
So yeah, and the cargo space was great. So I like the hatchback usability of it, and it was just easy. The other car that I was thinking about was the Camry, just because it's hop in and go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I really like that, and it's simple. My phone worked great; it hooked up really quickly. But yeah, if I can only choose one, probably the Crown Signia.
Yeah. Really nice balance.
Yeah.
That car.
Yeah,
and
for
I
sure.
think we've said that in our road test like this. It's a really balanced car.
Yeah.
And the not so greats.
Yeah, and I love this car, but when I think about how much extra stuff kind of comes with it, I gotta say it's the ID Buzz.
Yeah.
I love the idea of it, the vintage look, but the everyday living with this car. First, the range, like you can't really go anywhere.
Right.
You need like a 100-mile radius maybe, and then you're already gonna have to think about charging. That was the first thing. Second thing is the price. It's pretty expensive.
It's like $80,000.
Yeah, or it starts around 70.
Yep.
So for that, I could get two other cars that would probably be fine.
Yeah.
Now, I know that the Crown Signia is not the cheapest either, but still. And then the third thing is, if you need to get anything done, like accomplish anything on your daily trip, whether it's bring your kids to school, go to the grocery store, anything, you're going to have to stop and explain and talk to every single person. Because,
could be a good
which
thing.
is, yeah, I will say it's nice. I will say this car turned more heads than the Corvette that we had a couple years ago that I brought home, than anything I've ever driven here. And that was cool. I had everyone from a biker who shared some happy expletives with me, how cool it was on the road. He loved it. Then I had just people walk up and say, "Oh, this is great" and everything. But I found I had to explain more of the drawbacks to people,
right?
Because they were convinced you must love this.
Yes.
And two things I had to explain: once, this is not my car. I work at Consumer Reports, yada yada.
Yeah.
And then also, like, it has its drawbacks. So there's not much range. It's really expensive. I will say though, for purposes of just like driving around town, I drove a bunch of friends to a 40th birthday party. It was a blast.
Yes.
We brought everyone in it.
Yeah.
But I guess it's not really a strong case for like why I didn't like it. It's probably 50-50, but the whole kind of aura that comes around the car is a lot to walk around with, I think.
You wanted to love it, but you didn't.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think there's like that element of disappointment. Like,
Right.
Yeah, I really wanted to love this.
I did.
And I think we say all the time, the cars that leave our lot more often is a great judgment of what the road test at least is going to show.
Right.
And as much as that was so cool, it didn't leave as often as I thought it would.
No.
For those reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, to that point, the Crown Signia, I just got in it recently. We've had that for a little while, so.
Refreshed yourself.
For sure.
Well, thanks.
Thank you.
We welcome Mary Reed, our business manager, who is super involved in all the buying and selling and registering and everything of every car we test. So you get into the details, but I also want to hear what Mary has to say because you and I often align on what cars we like and don't like. So what was your favorite car of 2025?
Probably the Honda Passport. I liked that the size is wonderful. Wonderful to go shopping in, easy to park, very easy to drive and maneuver.
Yep.
Just a very comfortable car.
Simple, V6, great power delivery. It's not surprising because I just bought a Ridgeline, but it's like the SUV Ridgeline. And least favorite?
Least favorite, recently I drove the Nissan Kicks. Did nothing for me. Looks like a bubble.
Looks cute.
Or a big sneaker. No, I don't even like the looks.
Okay. I love that big sneaker.
Yeah. Underpowered. Not great visibility all the way around.
Yeah.
Just nothing to write home about.
Yeah, nothing to love. We talk about merging. We have these parkways nearby where you have to merge into very fast traffic from a stop.
Right.
And the Nissan Kicks.
Yep.
You probably would have to
And
think
it's-
twice about it.
Yeah, it just does nothing for you and just no reason to be there.
So much appreciated. Thanks.
No problem.
So we welcome John Mosley to the table. Another new member of the team, helping in not only the shop, but helping Emily and I and Mike Block on child seats. Valuable. You've had kind of a fast track to child safety. No pressure, recognizing that you maybe haven't driven the whole fleet, but of the cars you've driven in our fleet, do any stand out as something you really thought was implemented really well?
Well, it's different for me coming from the dealer, and we had very, very few EV cars.
Yeah.
And driving the EV cars has been a different experience, just as far as an acceleration. That aspect of things it has been fun.
Yeah.
And seeing the different manufacturers, whether it be BMW or Audi, and those has been quite of an experience. Can't really say I didn't drive the whole fleet, but I can't really say I have a favorite. It was a little different driving the Mini to Boston and back for some training, and fun car to drive. I don't fit all that well in the car.
Yes,
but
you are not alone in that sentiment today.
it's just very different and fun. Can't really say a worst car because I haven't driven enough.
Okay, great. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
So we welcome Gordon Gingras, and we are not talking tires today,
Nope, not
Gordon.
this
We're
time.
talking cars, and Gordon's concerned about his attire because we literally plucked him right out of the garage. He's working. He's not in his festive winter wear today like I am. So, Gordon, the fleet of 2025, what was your favorite car?
Favorite, I'd probably go with the Ram 1500 just because As far as trucks go, I think Ram has the best ride. They're comfortable. To me, they feel more car-like.
Yep.
I don't know about the reliability. That's a different story.
Yep.
But if I was going to get a new truck, that might be the one I'd get.
Right. And you're a person that actually uses a truck quite often.
Yeah.
Outdoorsy, wood, whatever your woodworking or wood burning, whatever you're doing. So you use a truck as a truck. So you appreciate that part of it as well.
Yeah, I did a little bit of towing with the
Oh, you did?
Ram.
Oh, right. You have a boat?
Yep. Yeah, it did fine. I mean, as expected.
Right. Good engine, good powertrain. And your least favorite?
See, this is kind of, I have a love-hate relationship with the,
You're not alone. We've heard this a little bit.
So any of the minis, I love like the, let's see, what was it? The Cooper Sport.
Yeah, Sport, all 4E or whatever.
Yeah, so
Countryman,
I think they're fun to drive.
Yep.
They handle well. It's just the infotainment center just completely ruins everything for me. It takes a car that I'd otherwise like to drive, and I would never buy it just because of the infotainment center.
I encourage people so much to do your test drive and go, but also sit with it for a minute. Pair your phone. Try to find your radio station. Set your climate controls. Do what I say. Do a test drive sitting still. Because they can be deal breakers.
5 minutes sitting in that car, you would realize how difficult it is to do anything.
Yeah, and what's a deal breaker and what's not.
Yeah. For me, it's just, if I can't change the climate without looking, I want a real basic controls on everything.
Yep. Little old school.
Yep, a little bit.
Right. So, all right, before we let you loose, favorite tire of 2025?
So we just finished testing the UHP program. So Michelin Pilot Sport.
Venerable.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's been top in the past.
There you go. Michelin Pilot Sport, Venerable, top of the list.
Yep.
Thanks. We welcome Nicole Lucas to the table. Nicole is in charge of a lot of the autos content on our digital team. She takes all of our numbers, all of our stuff, and makes it appear on CRO magically. Lots of hard work. But Nicole hails from the Motor City, but is often here and drives some of what's in the fleet. So I'm very interested, when you're here, are there cars that you preferred, looked for, wanted to drive during the past year?
So the two cars that I had a lot of fun driving. So, and I kind of spread out, which ones to check out in my most recent visit. The Fiat 500, the E.
Yeah.
I have to highlight that one because just looking at it and being in it just brings you joy.
Yeah.
It's happy. It's this little tiny thing that just makes you smile. Unfortunately, driving wise, it's not a performance vehicle, but it's just fun and makes you smile. The other vehicle, which I drove the next day, was the Volvo EX30.
Yep.
And driving wise, that is super fun.
Yep.
The only challenge is at every single stoplight, I had to figure out how to do basic driving things. So, my first stoplight was, oh man, it's cold. How do I turn on the heat? And, in the 24 hours I had the vehicle, I really felt like I nailed it.
Yep.
Unfortunately, when I came back to ATC, you have to roll down your window and buzz in.
You're right.
I could not for the life of me figure out how to roll down the window.
This is pretty basic stuff.
Some basic stuff. So driving wise, it's fun, especially, on the hilly roads around here because it's a little flat in Detroit.
Yep.
But figuring out how to drive it was a challenge.
Yeah, I agree. They're both really fun to drive.
Yeah.
Really fun. And the Fiat's adorable.
It's just, you want to put it in your pocket.
And just take it home.
Right.
You're not alone in the statement of, I wanted to like it. I wanted it to be more. And it just didn't stand up.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nicole.
Yeah, thank you.
Last but not least, we bring Michael Quincy. I'm being very formal today. Okay. Michael Quincy to the table. Years of cars.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah. What stands out in 2025 for Michael Quincy?
2025, it's the Honda Passport. Okay, so I so wanted to like the Toyota 4Runner, which was redesigned.
Yep.
But the noise levels, the ride, the handling, the wheezy engine, the terrible interior, It just kills it for me. But the thing I like about the 4Runner is the size is right.
Right.
So that's where the Passport comes in. Passport is quieter, it rides better, super simple controls, nicer interior for about the same money. It fits my life. I need some utility, folding down the back seat, but I don't need a third row seat.
Right.
I don't need serious off-road hardware that you get with the 4Runner. I just wish it got better fuel economy. That's like the only downside that I can see with the Passport. But I love the day-to-day usability of this car, and I would totally buy one.
Not offensive in any way.
No. It fits everything that I want in my life.
There you go. And the counterpoint, your least favorite.
So you might notice I got to my best quickly.
Yeah.
So
you had more trouble?
I got more to say about the worst.
Oh.
So
before you go there, did you find it a tough list this year to pick a worst? I did.
Yes. Yes. I think the best ones jumped out at me easier.
Yes.
The worst ones, there were embarrassingly a lot to choose from.
Okay.
I thought there was
opposite of what I'm kind of saying.
I thought there was a lot of lousy cars.
And the winner is, or the loser is, for you?
Let's just give a little setup here.
Okay.
So for all of our test cars, we have a digital logbook where everybody writes about their thoughts about the car. And it covers everything. It's like usability, seat comfort, powertrain, handling, you name it. But there's one section in the digital logbooks that says, would you recommend this vehicle to friends or family? Which brings me to my worst pick of 2025 that we tested this year. Drum roll, please. The Volvo EX30. Okay. The whole would you recommend this vehicle thing in the logbook? Not one tester said they'd recommend this car. It was completely unanimous thumbs down. Some of the people wrote, hell no. Monticello wrote that.
Oh, okay.
You can hear him say that, right?
You can.
Okay. The controls would drive even a relatively sane person over the ledge. It's $50,000 and only has a 180-mile range.
Yeah.
Even if it were $35,000, the Nero EV or the Kona EV would be a better choice.
Yep.
Absolutely not. The vehicle's a usability nightmare. The interior does not feel luxurious at all.
Yeah.
I cringe at the thought of showing my parents how to use this car. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and it's come across a lot at the table today of the value element. Like for $50,000, for over $70,000, this just didn't work. Which, so people are aware, the price doesn't come into our ratings, only in how we may present them. But it's very interesting.
But we think like kind of normal people. I mean,
kind of normal people.
It's
Not
like
normal, but not
I've always looked at our test cars like that maybe didn't measure up, and it's like, what else can you get for the money?
Right.
And whether it's in the exact same category or not, it's still like, well, you need a car.
Yeah.
What else can you get for that?
Yeah.
And I always thought that was kind of a logical way of thinking about a value proposition.
Most people have a budget of something.
Yeah. But what kills the EX30 is the controls.
Yeah.
I mean, the side mirror adjusted using the center screen, which is a horrible design. Other EV manufacturers do this.
Yeah.
The climate controls are all on the touchscreen. The steering wheel buttons are not labeled for any media. It takes way too many steps for certain tasks, like adjusting the ADAS settings.
Yep.
But the funniest experience that I had with this car is that the driver monitor system in the EX30 will bark at you.
Yeah.
You'll get visual warnings. You'll get chimes, audible stuff. You're basically saying, keep your eyes on the road. And I've literally yelled at this car. I said, I would keep my eyes on the road if your controls were better designed.
You really talked back to the EX30.
It drove me mad how insanely illogical the controls are in this vehicle.
Well, there you
now,
go.
it's an absolute rocket ship. But you'd think there'd be a compelling market for a smallish kind of EV with some European panache.
Yep.
But the EX30 absolutely is not it.
Did not meet its mark.
No.
Well, there you go.
But before we go, let's hear your picks.
Oh, we didn't do my picks.
Let's talk to Jennifer for her
You
picks.
may or may not be surprised, and we certainly are having a mind meld. Also, my favorite of this fleet was the Honda Passport. And again, I just bought a Ridgeline, so it's not a stretch. It's the SUV version of the Honda Ridgeline, pretty much. But I really, again, it fits me. Kind of what you were saying. V6 in a world of a lot of turbocharged fours. I think
and an engine that's been built for like 30 years.
Right.
So parts availability, reliability, fantastic.
Yes, and a good power delivery.
Yeah.
I really like it. Again, not the stellar fuel economy. You have to know that balance exists. It's not going to be the 24s, the 26s that we see in some of the other, either mid-size SUVs or compact pickups. So yes, absolutely the Honda Passport. And my least favorite, and again, I'm repeating what we've heard a lot at the table today, was not because I didn't like the car. It was the whole holistic thing of it being disappointed. And that was the Chevrolet Equinox.
Really?
And I'll tell you what, I really like to drive the car. I don't hesitate to grab those keys. I really like the driving experience. Our road test score says I'm not the only one who likes the car. It did pretty well. But when you roll up the owner satisfaction and the reliability on that car, it's got a very, very low overall score.
Right, but you're not driving owner satisfaction. You said you're going to take the keys willingly.
I do take the keys willingly.
So what about it that is it that you don't really like?
I do like it. I want to recommend it to
Right.
friends and family, to your point, but I can't because of the reliability.
I see what you're
numbers.
saying.
I wish
You
I
wanna
wanted it
but you
to be
can't.
better. Correct.
And that's why you're disappointed.
Yeah, I'm disappointed.
That's an interesting take on on best and worst.
And again, I thought we had a really good group of cars this year. And so much so that I was like, I'm going to pick that one, not because I don't like driving it, because I can't recommend it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
an
that's
inspired
my
pick.
take.
And I even remember talking to Alex Nyzik about the recent upswing of GM, not upswing, but we've tested a bunch of GM models that have been redesigned. Models that cost more than the Equinox. I remember Alex saying, I think, dollar for dollar, Equinox is better than all of them.
Yes.
Wow.
And you're right. I didn't even mention not $50,000.
Yeah.
When you sort, we have great sortability on CRNO. It's one of the least expensive SUVs in that category. So my hope is that the reliability improves.
You're like GM, if you're
over
listening,
the next few
improve
years.
the reliability,
And you'll
pump
have
up the
a
owners.
really good car.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, there you go.
Boy, that threw me for a loop.
I don't think we've heard Equinox today
That was
in either category.
That was
but anyway.
fantastic.
So
I'm going to throw you for a loop. And actually, I already spoke with super producer Dave Abrams, and this is my show now. So welcome to Talking Cars. I'm Mike Quincy.
I'm Jennifer Stockton.
And in case you, the audience, didn't know, this is Jen's last show.
Oh.
She's calling it a career here at CR's Auto Test. And not only has Jen been a trailblazer for child safety seats, tire testing, headlight testing, and managing this 327-acre facility, she is without a doubt the resident psychologist and psychiatrist here at Auto Test. When she's in the office, people are lining up to talk to her, and not just about work. And in some ways, I think that's an even more important impact that you've had at this place outside of the testing. Jen has been here for 26 years.
Mm-hmm.
And just want to kind of do a little exit interview before you go.
Oh, thank you.
Couple questions. From when you started to today, what do you think has been the biggest changes, like how we test and in the industry?
So you just went through it pretty much on the EX30. And in that, when
Volvo didn't listen to anything
no,
we said.
but
No,
you
I'm kidding.
alluded to it. When we started, it was about braking, handling, acceleration, fuel economy. Those all still exist. But we have now the Oliver Smiths and the Matty McCartys of the world that are human factors engineers. No longer is a car just a machine that you get in and pretty intuitively know how to operate. You now need UX and all of that those skill sets bring to the table in addition to how it brakes and handles and gets you from A to B. So, and again, I'm repeating, there's driving the car and there's operating the car.
Right.
And you just said you have this EX30 that drives actually really nicely, but you need the Maddies and the Olivers of the world to weigh in. To me, that's the biggest difference.
Yeah, you say UX. There's also usability. We used to just call it
whatever you
controls.
call it, controls.
The day-to-day livability, how easy or how difficult it is to do a simple change like adjusting the climate control.
Or the mirrors, as you just said. And how that relates, where's Emily, to safety.
Right. Yeah. And when you started for our magazine or our website, we maybe spent this much room talking about controls. Now we have this much room to talk about controls.
Yes, because it was about reach.
Right.
How far is it to the tune knob or the gear selector?
Because they were all pretty intuitive.
Yeah.
Okay, good answer. So next question. You've often said that engineering had brought you to cars, which is kind of the opposite approach to what most people here took.
Yeah.
If you didn't wind up here, where do you think you would have wound up? And what advice would you have for young people interested in what we do, especially women?
Yeah, I think, well, let me go backwards because I think there's a huge place for more women in autos. And I think I've used the stat before. Women influence in the cars market 80% of the purchases, whether they're buying for themselves, which many more do now. I've had dealers in our shopping here say, don't you want to check with your husband? No, I do not. I'm here on my own. Or they're influencing a decision for a family. There's a lot of influence, and I think having us at the table when the cars are being designed and usability, stature, big differences is a huge thing. I would love to see more women go into engineering, and particularly autos engineering. If I didn't go to autos, and again, it was a recruiter and Gene Peterson interviewing me at the University of Connecticut for Pirelli Tire.
Go Huskies.
That brought me, go Huskies, to where we sit today. I think it would have been something more on the medical side, the biomedical side, or something along those lines. Engineering for good,
or the
in a different way,
or the counseling side.
But I will tell you, I have zero complaints. I have had the best careers, not just at CR, but at Pirelli and Walbro as well. So happy.
I often thought that is the mark of a life well lived. If you look back and you say, yeah, I'd do that again.
I would do it again.
Excellent.
I would do it again, and raised a family at the same time.
Right.
And had what I feel. I always say to people, if you roll over in the morning and your first, before you even open your eyes, is, oh my gosh, I got to go there again, you need to make a change. I have not one day, I don't think in my entire career, had that thought.
So last question. Mm-hmm. We're always under the gun here with deadlines. I mean, that's public. Yeah. And we have high standards at Consumer Reports, so there's always a lot going on. I imagine you won't miss the constant pressure of the deadlines, but what do you think you will miss?
The people. I did you guys gave me a wonderful retirement kind of send off. And my takeaway was I miss the sounding board. I miss the people with different views. You surround yourself with friends who probably are mostly like-minded. Your family is probably even more like-minded. Coming to work. If I have another big decision in life to make, I'm coming back here. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear, believe it or not, what Dave Abrams has to say. I want to hear what Emily has to say, because you give me perspective. And I will miss, I don't want to be someone who retires and gets really out of touch. I rely on so many of the young people here to keep me in touch, to show me how to use my computer and my phone, but all of that stuff. So I probably won't be a stranger. I hope that's all right.
It's more than all right.
All right.
It's actually...
I really enjoy talking. I really enjoy this podcast.
Yeah.
When I listen back sometimes, I'm like, oh, my voice really is horribly grating. but it's okay.
We've all evolved and come a long way from the first podcast we've done to right now.
And I'll keep listening.
Yeah, we'll hope we get a little better for it. Well,
thank you.
Needless to say, the circle of Talking Cars fans and Consumer Reports members, and for all of us here at Auto Test, the world has been and continues to be a better place because you're in it.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything that you've done.